Good afternoon, welcome back. This is Saima. I'm back with another video. In today's video, we are going to continue speaking part 2, OET speaking subtest part 2. I made part 1 yesterday and I'm going to do a second part just now because I don't want to make the video very long. If you haven't watched the part 1 video, go and watch the video. I shared lots of useful information in that video. In today's video, we are going to continue OET speaking part 2. If you haven't met me before, I'm Saima. I'm a nurse from Southeast England. On this channel, we discuss each and everything about UK lifestyle, UK nursing, NHS nursing, visas, jobs, whatever you can think of, we discuss on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? You can do that. Press the bell icon so you don't miss any information of mine or any upcoming video of mine. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm speaking very slow because my baby is asleep there. He's sleeping very nicely and I don't want to make mess with him. Right, so in today's video we are going to talk about how you are going to persuade the patient, okay, and the other thing is how you need to negotiate with the patient. Difficult stuff. And also the next point would be I'm gonna give you some tips about OET role play and what you need to know. We are going to see a sample test also. If you are interested in this video, please watch the video till the end. Do not skip because we are going to discuss loads of useful information. When you are trying to persuade anybody, you need to know that you know about that information, you know about that condition, and by your way of convincing them, by your way of persuading them to get into action, it is important to let them understand what you are saying and also to let them understand the following things: condition they are presently in. You need to explain it to them, that what is the condition they are suffering from, what is happening with them, and the importance of something like medication, lifestyle changes, or lifestyle changes in their condition, how their body will benefit from this, and what happens when they don't do this. So what problem may occur when they continue to do their bad habits. So if possible, you may keep repeating some of these items by way of rephrasing ideas to your patients. All right, so if you explain these things to the patient, you may be able to persuade the patient to do a certain thing. So you need to know, you need to explain it properly, you need to tell the patient what is their condition, and they need to make some, why is it important to make some lifestyle changes, and what will happen if they make those lifestyle changes. If they don't, what's gonna happen and how is it going to impact their health. All right, so if you are able to explain these things in a professional and mannerable way, you are for sure going to persuade the patient. That will help them, and they will able to do something, and they will do the action in order to secure their health, in order to make sure that they look after their self. Or if they are, let's say if they are smoking, if you're not able to persuade them to quit smoking, then they're not going to do it. All right, so you should be able to explain it properly and in a more efficient and in a proper way that that will make them to do it. All right, we'll go through it one by one. In persuading the patient, you need to write it down. Okay, the first thing I said was to explain the patient about their condition they are in. Okay, let's say patient has scurvy and I need to explain it to the patient. The first thing I need to do is explain the condition to the patient. I would say let's say the patient is telling me, I went to the doctor and he said the red bruises on my legs are due to scurvy, but that's only not having enough vitamin C, that won't cause the bruises. That's what the patient said. Now I need to tell the patient, you don't believe vitamin C cause bruises, do you? So I'm just asking the patient that, do you believe that vitamin C cause bruises? And but that is true. Scurvy is a condition that you get if you are not getting enough vitamin C. from the food you eat every day. Vitamin C is important to ensure that your body can use iron properly. It also helps to make the tissues of your blood vessels stronger. If you lack vitamin C, your gums will start bleeding and you will bruise very easily. So this is the thing we explain the condition. Now we need to, the second point I mentioned was explaining the importance of something. For example, explaining the importance of medication, treatment, lifestyle, or in the patient condition. So the nurse says, you said you don't eat fruits and vegetables, and you skip breakfast and just grab an energy drink. Is that true? And patient says, yes, it is true. And the nurse said, well, it is hard to get a real meal these days, but you should try to get the proper nutrition from your body. Our body does not produce vitamin C. Eating plenty of fruits and vegetables gives us the vitamin C we need. Vitamin C is naturally found in fruit and vegetables, so it is very important that we eat them on daily basis. It is necessary for you now to stop taking energy drinks and start eating some healthy stuff, healthy foods such as fruits and vegetables. So here we explained the importance of the treatment or importance of a lifestyle change. The next thing, if we are going to tell, the third point I mentioned was explaining how the body can benefit from something, from a treatment, from a lifestyle change, or from medication. Okay, so patient says, can I take pills? Yes, they say like that. And the nurse says, of course you can, but taking vitamin C tablet doesn't help you long term. It is different if you get vitamin C from natural foods such as fruits and vegetables. The body can benefit from benefit more if you eat food rich in this vitamin every day in your meals, as it cannot be stored for a long time in our body, and you can still get other vitamins and minerals contained in the food which your body may need. So here I'm explaining why is important and why it will benefit your body. The fourth point I mentioned was explaining what happens if the patient does not do what is suggested by the doctor or by me. Okay, that was my fourth point. Yes, so if you are giving advice to a patient on smoking, you need to explain. Yeah, I'll give you a homework at the end of this explanation. So now I'm going to discuss explaining what happens if the patient does not do what is suggested. So patient says, so you're saying that bruises are because I don't eat fruits and vegetable rich in it. Okay, the nurse says, yes, that's right. So it is necessary for you to follow your doctor's advice to eat fruits and vegetables rich in vitamin C, such as citrus, mangoes, apples, strawberries, cabbage, capsicum, spinach, and broccoli. If you ignore your doctor's suggestion, you may not get the same amount of vitamin C from pills you're taking as from these foods. Therefore, your scurvy will still go on. Suffering from scurvy for a long time may be one of the things you have to consider. So this is the thing that we need to explain, that if you don't follow the doctor's advice, what will happen? You will go into a long-term scurvy, which is not good. The next point you need to highlight is explaining what problem may occur when they continue to do their bad habit or they continue to do the same practice. All right, so if they're not following the advice, what will happen? The nurse says, definitely vitamin C should be taken from your food, from the food you eat. You should start eating fruit and vegetables now. If you continue a bad eating habit, such as taking only energy drinks at breakfast, your bruises will not go away quickly. If do not eat the food suggested by doctor and dietitian, I am afraid your scurvy will carry on and your condition may even worsen. So we need to explain. Yes. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is what happens if the patient is not being persuaded to get into action and continues to refuse. Then what you need to say. So I'm going to say here that patient has the right to refuse. It's their life, they can do what they want to do. All right, so you need to the patient has the right to refuse. In any case, he or she is not being convinced and continues to refuse, the nurse after several attempts may have to accept the patient decision, but keep the door open. Right. The nurse says, I totally understand everything you are saying to me. I respect your decision to refuse eating vegetables and fruits. However, would you be willing to read the health information in this leaflet and contact me if you want to give eating fruits and vegetables a try? Okay, you need to keep the door open. You have given your advice, patient is not persuaded, patient is still there, I'm not going to eat fruits and vegetables. Whatever you say, you can do that. I'm not going to do it. Patient is not happy, then you cannot force the patient. You are just going to say, it's all right, decision is yours, you have the right to refuse, but will you be willing to give it a try? Let me know if you do so, and I'll be happy to help you, or I'll be happy to assist you further. And then you can do the following activities you need to do with your friend. Yeah, I'm already there at that point. So write it down, get a pen and paper. You need to do these activities with your partner. You need to persuade a patient with lung problems to quit smoking. Yeah. Number one, you need to convince a patient to stop to quit smoking who has lung problems. That is your first question. The second one is liver problems to stop drinking. Hypertension to get into habit of eating low fat, low salt diet. Hypertension to get into habit of eating low fat, low salt diet. Diabetes to avoid eating carbohydrate and sugar rich foods. Diabetes to avoid eating carbohydrates and sugar rich foods. Arthritis to refrain from eating foods that worsens the condition. Arthritis to refrain from eating foods that worsen the condition. This is your homework. You are going to persuade your partner, your friend, and practice these things with them. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is about negotiating with the patient. Difficult thing. Honestly, it's too difficult, but if you practice, you can do it. So negotiation with the patient can be quite tricky, can be quite challenging, but you need to stay calm, you need to stay confident, then you'll be able to do it. It's not that hard if you practice it. Yes, practice makes a man perfect and a lady perfect also. So we are going to talk about negotiation. I'm going to give you an example and some of a sample. All right, so the patient says, I am fine with my hypertension, I'm fine with my medication, I'm taking the pills regularly as prescribed by the doctor, I've been fine. Okay, the nurse says, and patient is a bit loud. Okay, then the nurse says, yes, I understand what you're saying, but just calm down. You may not be able to understand what I will say if you don't stay calm. Patient said, I said I am fine with my pill. I said I'm fine with the pill I'm taking. Why do you insist on the injection? I don't like the sight of needles. The nurse says, would you be willing to listen if I explain it to you? Would you be willing to listen if I explain it to you? And the patient says, okay, yes, I'll try. The nurse says, thank you. The reason why the doctor would like you to have the insulin injection is that your blood sugar level is getting too high and becoming increasingly uncontrolled based on your recent lab reports and his assessment. It is very important that your sugar level must be controlled, otherwise your condition will get worse and the tablets you are taking no longer be able to do the job of controlling your blood sugar. Patient says, I hate needles. I'm afraid of needles and injections are painful. I do the same. I hate needles too. The nurse says, I can relate to you on that. Yeah, that's me. When I was a child, I was also afraid of needles. I only overcame this fear when I was studying to be a nurse. It took me a lot of courage just to do this, to fulfill my dream of becoming a nurse to help my patients. You too can overcome your fear if you want to become better and not suffer from your condition. Patient says, yes, you have a point, but I really can't stand injections. The nurse says, you don't have to do the injections by yourself if you don't want to do it. If you are willing to try the insulin injections, I can teach someone with you to do it. I will teach someone with you to do it for you. Would you at least give me the opportunity to teach any member of your family to do the injections for you? You have nothing to lose anyway. Patient says, okay, my older sister will do it. Call in sister, and sister is there. But what about the pain? The nurse says, injecting is not so painful if it is done properly. So it is best for you and your sister to listen to me carefully while I'm demonstrating it with the dummy. Then later, your sister will explain it to me. Now, would you be willing to learn how to inject insulin in your body? Patient says, okay, my sister and I are ready. But I'm still afraid. The needles, they hurt. So the nurse need to use the sentences like, I know they are a bit painful, but if we do it properly, they're not gonna hurt you a lot. Okay, thinking about the needle makes you feel more scared. Okay, then you need to use expressions like, are you willing to? Would you be willing to? Okay, would you at least give me a chance to try or to explain? Or these are the things you need to mention to the patient and try to persuade the patient. Okay, and negotiation with the patient can be tricky, but practice, you can do the practice with your friend or colleague, and then only you will be able to pass your exam. You need to remember, if the patient says 2 questions, you are going to answer 2 of them. You are not ignoring the first question. In the example that I've given you, the patient said, why do I have to do the injections? I'm doing fine with my tablets. Beside that, I hate injections. So patient says, why do I have to have the injection? That is the first concern. The second concern is, I hate injections. All right, so you need to explain to the patient the first concern. Why do I have to have the pills? Why do I have to have the injections? You need to respond to the patient first. You are, yeah, you are right that you have a point there, but your doctor is worried about your increased blood sugars levels, your uncontrolled blood sugar levels. All right, although you feel fine, your pills, they are not doing the job that they should do anymore because of the uncontrolled blood sugar levels. That is the response to the first question of the patient. Additionally, furthermore, yeah, you got me, you need to include those words. The second concern, she says, I hate injections because because needles are painful. That is the second concern of the patient. So you need to tell the patient, injections are not so painful if they are done properly. I'll teach you how to do them properly. They'll be painless for you. No, you are not saying that they will be painless, because there will be pain with the needle. Of course there will be pain. We are injecting a needle, but if we do it properly, the pain is minimized. Okay, the pain is not that intense. So the thing I'm saying here is, if patient is telling you 2 things, you need to answer 2 of them. Okay, don't just ignore. We try to persuade, we try to negotiate, but the problem is still there. Now we need to do is we need to empathize with patient. we need to empathizing with the patient. This is the thing we are going to discuss. So you have tried persuading, you have tried negotiating, but nothing helps. Now you need to be empathetic with the patient. How? If the patient says, let's say an example, the pain in my right leg is is really extreme. After the surgery, I thought everything would be all right, but this intense pain is really disturbing me. So disturbing that I can hardly sleep at night. I think with this complication, I should be given much stronger painkillers. Now, the nurse says, I do understand that it is very difficult when you are in a lot of pain, but at the moment, it is wise to start with simple painkillers and lower anti-inflammatories first. They usually work well together. After that, if you find that pills are not strong enough, I need to inform your doctor so he can decide on the new painkillers to give you. Now, would you consider trying the medication for a day and see if they work? Okay, so what are the expressions that we need to use if we are empathizing with the patient? We can say, I do understand that it is very difficult. I can see that you are upset about this. I do see the point why you worried too much. I hate that you had to be in so much pain. Okay, these are the things you can use in your empathizing when you are at that stage where you need to empathize with the patient. Yeah, given some empathy to the patient, you have used those words that I mentioned. You need to reassure the words. You need to use some reassuring words, you can say linkers can be used also, like however, but, nonetheless, nevertheless. All right, for example, I do understand that it is very difficult when you are in a lot of pain, but at the moment, that is the reassuring word I'm going to use, it is wise to start with some painkillers, simple painkillers and lower anti-inflammatories first. They usually work very well together. After that, if you find the pills are not strong enough, I need to inform the doctor so he can decide on the new painkillers to give you. Okay, one more example I'm going to give you. I do understand that you are very worried about what happened to your child. If I was in the same situation, I would feel even more worried. So you need to show some empathy and put yourself in the patient's shoes. Think that you are at their in their condition, and if you were there, what would you have done? Okay, so this is the thing we need to use. We have discussed today persuading, negotiating, empathizing. So these are the things, the sentences that I use. You can write it down and practice using them in your speaking role play. We are going towards the end of this video. I'm going to give you a tip. Yeah, write it down in bold. You do not need to use these words. Stop using these words and phrases. This is a warning for you. Never ever use these sentences in your OET exam. Number one, don't worry. No, you're not going to use it. Yes, if you want to pass your OET exam, speaking exam, you are not going to use don't worry. She will be okay or he'll be okay. Don't worry, he'll be fine. Nope. Everything will be fine. You will see. No, we are not going to use it. You have nothing to worry about. It's a lie. It doesn't take long. After a small procedure, she will be fine. So saying these things, you are just ignoring the patient. On top of that, you are showing that you are not paying any attention to them, and you are just superficial in your words. So make sure that you are not using these words, these sentences in your OET speaking. Now we are just done with this video. That's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. You can share it with your friends and colleagues who are preparing for OET exam. I will see you soon with another video about OET. If you like this video, if this video was helpful, give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comment section if everything was all right and you learned something. And that's it. Goodbye, take care, God bless.